Fine, I approve your request. And in fact, this very day, I will announce the edict.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
All right, get up, get up. Jingyan? The herbal chicken soup. Do you think it's good?
Apparently, the Crown Prince and Prince Yu fought at court once again. His Majesty was upset and went to the inner palace. So I came here to check on you and see if you're doing better.
Oh, I'm doing fine. So what did those two fight about?
Oh, after Shiyu went down... Hey, slow down, give me a piece. Because of the capital patrols, they need a commander. And the two princes are fighting over it. They both fought till their faces were red. I don't understand it. It's just the capital patrols. Is it even worth it?
Naturally, Commander Meng, someone like you wouldn't find it a great deal.
Huh?
Within the capital, not only do they guard the city gates, they enforce curfew and prevent any fights. They're also managed officially by the Ministry of Defense. Yet the former Commander Marquis Shiyu had a higher position than the Ministry. The Ministry had no control over them, but was restricted by them.
The Ministry always belonged to the Crown Prince. That explains why he immediately came forward once Shiyu fell.
Prince, you must oppose him. He'll suggest that a third-rank officer or above to return to the capital to hold office.
That officer must be one of his. Even though His Majesty might not value the capital patrols compared to my Imperial Guards, it still affects the safety of the capital. It's very important. Neither of the two princes will admit defeat. Thus it won't be easy for His Majesty to choose.
If the decision was merely simple, the post wouldn't have been empty for an entire 2 months right after Shiyu's exile.
Hey, tell me, who do you think will succeed when this is all done?
When the Crane and Clam fight, who benefits from it?
Jingyan, you know well how to manage troops. I want to give you control of the capital patrols. What do you say? What is it? Afraid of hard work?
No, Your Majesty. I highly appreciate your trust in me. It's just...
It's just what?
It's nothing. I accept your offer. I will work hard to prove myself worthy of your trust.
You need not worry, Jingyan. You're a prince with a wealth of military experiences. Managing the small capital patrol should be nothing. I support you, and see if anyone dare say anything about it. If you are wronged in any way, please do let me know immediately. I'll be sure to back you up.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, I understand you haven't taken a nap yet. May I suggest for you to rest here for a moment?
All right. I will. Jingyan, since I will be resting here, I will have to ask you to leave. I may have interrupted a rare moment and time for you and your mother.
Serving you, Your Majesty, is my highest priority. If Your Majesty puts it like that, you might end up frightening Jingyan.
Jingyan, since I've bothered you today, I will make it up to you. From now on, you're permitted to enter the Jilwo Palace to visit your mother anytime. There is no need to ask for permission anymore.
Your Majesty, thank you for your generosity.
Your Majesty, thank you very much.
Your Majesty, His Majesty has decided to stay over at Jilwo Palace for today.
It is Concert Jing's birthday. That is expected.
Things do change fast within the palace. A mere nap and a few gifts later, the people already want to go and curry favor with her. Jilwa Palace was usually very calm, yet now that it's almost dusk, it is about to become lively.
What about Zhaoran Palace?
I heard that noble Consort Yu is a little upset lately.
Concert Jing isn't new around here. She's been cooped up in the palace half her life. At her age, what trouble can she stir up? While Madame Yu, she gets pettier by the day.
I think it's good she's upset. She has always believed how she was your favorite. I must be mistaken. How can Consort Yu ever be the favorite? You, my lady, hold that title.
Have you sent the gifts I asked you to send to Jilwa Palace?
I have, Your Majesty.
And what is the time now?
It should be the time for Consort Jing to come and show her gratitude.
Your Majesty, Consort Jing has arrived.
Invite her in then.
Yes, milady.
Your Majesty, I have come here to show my gratitude for your generosity, for the gifts you have given to me. Thank you, milady.
No formalities needed. We are sisters. You may rise.
Yes.
Your Highness, noble Consort Yu is here.
Go ahead, invite her in.
Yes, milady.
Greetings, Your Majesty. Oh, you're here too? Your birthday's today. I didn't get you anything. I wish not to offend you. I wouldn't dare.
In his most recent years, His Majesty has had trouble sleeping. Aside from the Yishen Hall, he can't fall asleep in the Zhaoran Palace. Yet who would expect that he would rest peacefully in the Jilwo Palace?
Consort Jing is very skilled at cooking. What did you prepare for His Majesty? Do tell us so we can learn as well.
Yet skills do require practice. If sister does wish to learn at this age, it might be a little late for you.
At least to let me practice when His Majesty comes. Your Highness is quite busy managing the inner palace. His Majesty wishes not to disturb you. So there's really no need for you to learn such skills.
We can discuss more about the subject once you're able to put it to good use. Consort Jing isn't very idle. Jingyan is permitted in and out of the palace, so her time will be more occupied. By the way, I have not seen the Crown Prince in a while. Is he still under confinement?
His Majesty wishes for him to take a rest. He still attends the court, and His Majesty still depends on him.
Naturally, he should. Who else would His Majesty depend on if not him? He's not like Jing Huan, who attends only small matters like receiving diplomats on behalf of His Majesty.
Hey. Whoa. Sir Shishan, we've arrived. That's it. Be careful.
Uncle Shishan, for you to be here must mean this is very important. Based on your orders, I took out Hongsha's court's informants just as he requested. Recently, my efforts have been effective. However, I worry Tonglu cannot describe the complex relationships, and that is why I'm here. Oh, after you.
Greetings, Prince Mu. Oh, Commander Meng. I can't help but notice you look a bit upset. Is something the matter? Great-grandmother's funeral recently ended, and I wish to go with my sister to Mount Wei, but His Majesty didn't allow it. I wasn't even able to ask His Majesty yet. My sister kept saying not to cause trouble and listen to Sir Su. You do seem a bit willful. She wished to protect the tomb alone. It is filial piety. Your family hasn't broken any rules. If both you and your sister were sent to protect the memorial, wouldn't that make His Majesty seem inconsiderate? My sister said the same thing, but I didn't think it through. Even if you didn't think of it, His Majesty will. My opinion? Just follow what Master Su and her ladyship says, and wait patiently at home.
From your estimation, that over half of Qin Banruo's informants were removed?
Based on the numbers we gathered, it was over half.
I'm afraid it won't be easy. Based on the number of informants her master had within Liang, she'll have more.
Are you trying to tell me that Princess Shinji still has other people she never gave to Banruo? Princess Swanji truly was an extraordinary person. Even after death, she still holds this much power.
The Hua tribe paid allegiance to Liang, and later betrayed us, causing the Qian army to fight a rebellion for over a year. But after Princess Xianji was captured, she was able to hide at Yeyo Court and survive secretly and established Hongshu Court. Qin Banruo definitely cannot measure up to her, with her strength of mind and her craftiness.
If Princess Xianji were still alive, I'm afraid things in the capital would be even more dangerous.
As of now, the people of Hua tribe are similar to people here. Qin Banruo knows there's no hope restoring her kingdom. Her role as Prince Yu's tactician is merely a ploy to cause conflict and to weaken Liang. All of this to appease her master's spirit.
Since you do believe that Princess Xianji still has more informants, then know that I shall do my best to know who they are.
This is a heavy blow to Qin Banruo. I'm certain she'll strike back. All of us must be vigilant.
Sister.
Sister, Mr. Chen sent us a letter.
Did he find anything?
Altogether, we have lost more than a dozen of our people. And among them, 5 were convinced by others to leave Hongshu Court. Uncle Chan, however, was only able to track 2 of them.
And were they caught?
Somebody helped them, and they managed to escape.
So this means we have nothing at all?
Even though they were able to escape, the person who had helped them left some traces. We still have a chance.
Who is it?
Didn't you always have someone monitoring the Sioux residence?
The Sioux residence?
Sister, the Sioux residence is like an impenetrable fortress. None of our people can ever get inside it.
If none of us can get in, I know someone who can.
Chief Su, what are you writing?
Commander Meng, you've been visiting quite a bit often. I'm certain you wouldn't want others to have any suspicion.
Nonsense. Not even young Fei Liu can manage to keep up with me. Hey, when I was about to leave the palace, I ran into Mu Qing. You're really keeping that boy on a tight leash, huh? Huh?
His Majesty hasn't paid him any mind, and we all know he's much safer here. And besides, there's plenty for him to learn. There's no harm in it.
And you're right. A wise thing to do. Oh, what are you writing? Is this a book? You're writing a commentary?
The records of the land of Xiang. The author tells the culture and geography of a place. Unless you've been there, you wouldn't know about it. I've gone to some of the places, so I make a few remarks simply to pass the time.
Your handwriting is quite different from the past. Did you change it?
I suppose you could say that, but I also needed to. The strength of my wrist is not like how it used to be anymore. I'm not capable of writing in the same way before, even if I still wanted to. I don't feel bad about it, so why should you?
Still nothing from Shandong. Knowing her usual temperament, I would say that something isn't right here. Do you think that Shajang already found out about it?
I plan to silently observe the Shenjing Bureau. Sister Dong knows the truth, so she'll be careful around Shajang. She should know how to protect herself. Whether Shajang knows or not, I'd like them both to confront each other and know how Sha Chun and Sha Chu will react. I don't think the widow of General Nia will dare let us down.
Pardon, Chief. Prince Yu's here. We can't stall him much longer. He's storming inside.
I'll take my leave.
But, which way will you go?
The secret chamber.
Your Highness!
Master Su, the new leader of the Capital Patrol has been chosen.
Seeing your Highness's reaction, did I make a mistake?
You didn't. Father didn't let the Ministry interfere. 2 days ago, he handed the Capital Patrols to Prince Jing. It was announced in court today.
Prince Jing?
That's right. I knew it was Concert Jing's birthday, and he'd give them gifts, but who knew he'd reward him this much? Father didn't even mention this to anyone, just abruptly decided.
I don't understand your anger now. Shouldn't this be a good thing? He is royalty. You're both in good terms with one another. Him favoring the Crown Prince is unlikely.
If he's only Prince Jing, I would be happy to let him do this, but then... Don't you suspect that he's gaining favors much too quickly? Just from the land grab case, not only did he impress Father, most of the ministers see him in a good light. His popularity is increasing every day. Even the newly promoted ministers also have good impressions on him. Yet not a sign of a single faction forming. The Prince Jing today is nothing like the Prince Jing who returned to the capital a year ago.
I understand how that does seem problematic, but if Prince Jing is being ambitious, he will need the support of other people. Your Highness, you're certain he has not formed any cliques?
That's what Banra's sources tell us. But lately she has done nothing but disappoint me. A lot of her information comes in late, sometimes even wrong. She suspects there's a traitor among us. Otherwise we wouldn't have lost that many informants in such a short time.
I've never asked about Lady Banrua's matters. But from what I've heard, her informants are known to be very secretive. Only few know who they are. It shouldn't be too hard to find the traitors. The Jiangsu Alliance can help if necessary. It would be uncomfortable if the Jiangsu Alliance found something I shouldn't know of. Oh, just a joke. Please don't take it seriously. Us secular people always like to give people other options. Your Highness, do sit down.
My name is Ouyang-Chu. Greetings, Your Highness Prince Jing. At ease. Sir. Were you able to receive the orders I sent? Yes, sir, we have. I've gathered personal, finance, as well as supply ledgers, all ready to hand over. The only thing we await is simply for Your Highness's receipt. Well done. The Capital Patrols will need to change some bad habits. Understand? Yes, Your Highness.
Your Highness came in such a fury, only to tell me Prince Jing was given the Capital Patrols?
Not only that, Father decreed that Prince Jing is allowed to visit his mother anytime. Only noble princes have such rights. At the end of this year, I know he'll be promoted to be my equal. And Father has ignored concubine Jing for years. Now he suddenly confers her as consort. You can't truly believe that this is all nothing but a coincidence. Father clearly intends to support Prince Jing. Exactly like last time.
Exactly like how he supported you back then.
Listen to me. I'm being serious here. While you don't seem to be taking my matter seriously.
Since you believe His Majesty is being intentional, what worries you now?
Commander Meng.
Your Highness.
Why are you here?
I'm off duty today, so I came to Sir Su to ask for advice. I wasn't here for very long until you showed up, my lord. I couldn't get out in time, so Sir Su asked me to stay here for the meantime.
I see that. And it appears I'll have to wait too.
Please sit down.
Records of the land of Shang. The remarks all written here are all Sir Su's?
I believe so.
Are you trying to say that father has done it on purpose?
I had given you advice after Shiyu's case. I told you to stop pursuing the Crown Prince for a while. It appears you didn't take my advice seriously.
You only mentioned to me once. I never thought it was serious.
The Crown Prince makes mistakes, yet he's still chosen by the Emperor. You pushed too far and offended His Majesty. Haven't you noticed His Majesty favoring you less lately?
Yes, you're right. Father has been cold lately, and I couldn't understand why.
It's easy to understand. You oppressed the Crown Prince to the point where he can't even show his face anymore. No one in court can fend against your powers. All of them listen to you. Do you think His Majesty wants to see this, nor encourage it by favoring you?
But Father's always supported me in challenging and competing with the Crown Prince.
That's right. His Majesty always did encourage the two of you to compete. But he never predicted how it would affect things, and what they have become now. 4 ministers fallen from power. A dispute that led to a court debate, and the illegal fireworks factory, and then Shiyu's case, were all beyond his own expectations. And all were attributed to you, Your Highness. The fact that you were able to render the Crown Prince utterly helpless, and without His Majesty's help, made him suspicious, and alarmed him enough for him to move and find a way to limit your power.
I may have been too aggressive. Is there any way at all to redeem the situation?
For now, there's no need for you to panic. His Majesty is merely giving you a reminder by rewarding Prince Jing. In a way, it is also a way of preserving your status. His Majesty dislikes the Crown Prince and will more likely be abolished. When it comes to the Crown Prince, getting him abolished must only happen because His Majesty wants it, and not because you're so powerful that you decided to take over. You have to take all these into consideration. It's important that you understand the difference.
I understand. I must be patient, especially now. Father rewarding Prince Jing is nothing but a test. I can't afford to make any more mistakes. I should just remain placid.
Your greatest threat is still the Crown Prince. Of course, Prince Jing is also a threat. Perhaps Lady Banruo's informants can keep an eye on them.
My lady, do you wish to eat?
I come to see Sister 4.
My lady, you may have come to the wrong place. Please, there's no Sister 4.
We were once sisters. I have come all this way. Why not just come out and see me?
Farewell.
All right, has the Chaw family returned to Tingshuan Manor?
I have made Aunt Liang a promise to not trouble the family. They won't need my help. They're well-connected people.
That's right. Chaw Dingfeng did get hurt, yet his ties are still intact. He was still Shia's accomplice. Your Highness cannot use him. The best thing for you is to leave them be. And all will see you as benevolent.
The power of the pugilist world may not be useful. It still has its benefits. The Cho family may have suffered, but their power is still there. Why can't I take...
I am here. What is there to be concerned about in that matter?
Yes, you're right. Even when Tenshin Manor was at the height of their power, the Zhengzhou Alliance still dismissed them.
Within the capital, the pugilist's powers are restricted. Miss Chin's informants are from court, so to you, she should be more useful.
Banro, I'm sorry for leaving without a word. All those years ago, I was really tired. I will never forget our master for taking care of us, but ever since she passed away, I believed we should lead our own lives from then on.
What are you talking about, sister? We have yet to restore Hua Tribe's kingdom, or our plot for revenge. Don't tell me you've given up.
Master passed her legacy on to you. I used to follow your orders, but now I'm afraid. I have a few things to say.
Go on then, tell me.
In the past, when we Hua Tribe had our own kingdom,
We could not help but struggle for our existence, but now things changed. We had no more country and no foundation. The Hua and Liang people are almost the same. The situation is much more difficult now. It will not be easy to simply restore our kingdom.
First of all, sister, you underestimate me. If our master were still alive, we would depend on her brilliant mind and clever tactics. Then you wouldn't be so hesitant to follow.
Every single time Prince Yu comes to visit, he takes half of your day.
It appears Sir Shishan has been successful. He cleared out the informants. Prince Yu didn't seem happy when he mentioned Qin Banruo to me.
It's just the beginning and he can't take it already.
Hold on. Commander Meng is in the secret chamber.
Oh dear.
Master truly was clever. In fact, maybe too much that she didn't enjoy her own life.
If master were still alive, the situation in Jinling would be completely different.
But even with all of your hard work, We haven't even been able to attain half the success she attained in her life. Don't you get it? That is the truth. Why can't you accept that?
Sister, are you telling me? Now that Master is gone, we should no longer avenge the destruction of our own kingdom?
Our master's strategies estranged Liang Emperor with his son, thus his execution and the massacre of the Qian army. Wasn't that enough revenge for you?
It may have been the Qian army that destroyed Hua tribe. Yet the Liang Empire brought down our tribe. Even if our tribe will not be restored, I will make sure Liang will be destroyed, in honor of our master's spirit.
Banru!
Sister 4, these years you've lived in peace. I chose never to disturb you, in light of our sisterhood. If I wasn't desperate, I wouldn't have come here to you. Also, sister, you haven't even asked me why I finally came to you now. Sister 4, haven't you heard? My Hongshu court has been falling apart.
Commander Meng! You must have been uncomfortable down here. I finally managed to send... Your Highness.
Chief Su must have gotten a fright. When His Highness first arrived, I was surprised as well.
Has Prince Yu left? He just left. Your Highness, please.
Since you have seen Prince Yu, you're already fully aware of what has happened.
Yes, the capital patrols are now commanded by you. And you're to be promoted as first-rank prince.
First rank? It's true I now command the capital patrols, but not about being a first-rank prince.
Your Highness, didn't His Majesty permit you to come in and out of the palace?
Yes, it's true. Now, whenever I'd like to visit my mother, I won't need to ask permission.
That was exactly what Prince Yu was so upset about. Does Your Highness not realize that this is a privilege of noble princes?
I didn't see it that way. However, it happened on my mother's birthday. Father gave me privilege with no intention of promoting me.
You should have been promoted to noble prince a long time ago, even if His Majesty had no intention when he said it. He will be reminded that this privilege is only for first-rank princes, once the decree is drafted. Granting your privileges without conferring the title of a noble prince isn't much of a favor. His Majesty shouldn't bestow any favors halfway. Otherwise, it'll make people unhappy. So early as this month, or mid-fall at the latest, you should be promoted by then.
Huh? Then that's great. This is good news. And from then on, you will have the same rank exactly as Prince Yu.
But then, isn't it a bad time to be promoted right away? Didn't you advise me before to keep a low profile?
So you mean all the informants you have implanted were all removed?
It's only been a few months. The people I trusted have either died or they betrayed me. Even my most well-hidden spies have all been uprooted. Very few were left behind. Prince Yu and his father are alike, both suspicious. The trust I spent years to build are all but gone. At this rate, it will not only be me, nor my followers, but our entire sisterhood is at stake. Sister 4, didn't Master ask you to always look after me? Or you won't even bother helping me in this life-or-death crisis?
Benro, just take this chance to leave. Don't you wish to live peacefully? Like I did?
Sister 4, I promise. If you help me get through this difficulty, I will let the past and the rest of our sisters go, and we'll plan our future together.
You really are... All right. What can I do to help you out?
I would like to make use of your beauty and seduction. to infiltrate somebody.
Your powers are still too weak. Even if staying low may be a good plan, constantly shrinking back and avoiding attention will create suspicions as well. And as for the Capital Patrol, it has already fallen onto your lap. There is no need to push it away. You've worked on this for a year. If by this time, Your Highness, I've failed to fix the crisis from controlling the Capital Patrol, that can only mean I've failed my duty to you too. Your Highness can progress, although not aggressively. You still must progress.
Very well. When I was granted the Capital Patrol, I was worried I'd ruin your timing. That's why I hesitated.
But didn't His Majesty offer it to you in person? How can you hesitate?
Prince Yu and the Crown Prince have been fighting over claiming the Capital Patrols for about over 2 months already. When His Majesty granted it to you, and yet you hesitated, His Majesty wasn't very happy to bestow the favor. He's probably never had a hard time granting favors.
Yes, perhaps. But then, managing the troops won't be much of a problem for me. What about Prince Yu?
Do not worry, I've already persuaded Prince Yu. If he does decide to take my advice and will not trouble Your Highness, then you may take this chance to gain even more power. But if he only pretended to listen and remains uneasy, and if he still decides to suppress you, then I'm afraid we would have no choice. We'll have to make use of His Majesty, his power, and let him deal with Prince Yu.
Amazing. Absolutely brilliant. If it were not for Sir Su, then perhaps you wouldn't have gained the Capital Patrol. This was all the result of your careful planning. Impressive.
Strategic planning is crucial. If we only base our success on the decisions of our enemies, then we would only come to fail. It is only when we can counter our enemies' actions that will result in allowing us to have control over the situation. Even though Your Highness is still yet to attain that, you have a basis of power now.
Your Highness has become much calmer now, after being with Sir Su.
Master Su tells me Father is merely warning me, and I should worry not. Yet I must focus on gaining his favor.
That does make sense.
However, Prince Jing makes me uneasy. Something isn't right. I will not simply ignore him. Assign more people to watch him. I must know whoever he interacts with. Watch any suspicious activity.
Yes, sir.
What's wrong? Is there a problem?
Recently, we haven't had enough people. As you know, I've lost quite a lot of men. The new ones aren't ready. Yesterday, a girl I sent as a concubine to Secretary at Liu's manor ran away without a word, and we still haven't found her.
You lost another one.
Our enemy is clever, precise, and ruthless. That's why I do believe we have a traitor among our people.
What do you mean?
What I'm saying is, Your Highness's manor isn't very impenetrable.
But the only ones who know of the informants are Advisor G, you and me. He's worked with me for years. His entire family also lives here. It cannot be him. If you don't have enough people, I can ask Master Su for help.
There is no need to trouble Sir Su. I can handle it.
Commander, you have to sleep early tonight. Your Highness, you should head back too.
We've bothered you enough. You should be resting. If I have any troubles, I'll visit you again. This book is truly interesting. I haven't finished reading it yet. Would you mind if I borrowed it only for a few days?
Your Highness is saying
I'm saying I'd like to borrow it.
It's just a travel diary. You may borrow it if you wish to.